Imagine this. What if your worth wasn't tied to a label? What if people noticed you first, not the logo stitched on your sleeve? People flex with designer bags. I flex with how many snacks I can fit in my pockets. A plain t shirt can cost $10 or $200 just because a logo is stitched on. Same cotton, same stitching, same performance. So, what are we really paying for? We as teens often don't notice it. We are caught in the race. But who's really paying the entry fee? Is it us or our parents? My name is Rishit Mantri. I'm 15 and I'm here to ask, are you wearing a brand or are you living your own brand? Because your real brand isn't stitched in your sleeve, it's in your soul. It's the way you treat people, the way you handle failure, and the values you stand for when no one's watching. Let's begin with the basics. What even is a brand? At its core, a brand is just a label, a name, a symbol that companies use to distinguish themselves. But here's the twist, it's no longer about the product, it's about the perception, it's about the story we buy along with the logo. Now, let's pause. Needs versus wants. This is where most of us blur the line. Needs food, clothing, shelter, and wants the premium shoe brands, not the shoe. The high end, sleek, fancy gadgets, not the phone. The logo, not the life it claims to promise. And here's the real danger. When people look at you, are they really seeing you or just your brand? Have you forgotten the real brand, the brand of you? The one made of your qualities, your creativity, and your contributions? Because the brand of you doesn't fade with trends, it grows with experience. Every act of kindness, every idea, and every single challenge you face becomes part of your personal logo, one no company can design better than you. I'll tell you a story. A friend of mine once got the latest sneakers. Everyone said, "Bro, those look sick." But no one said a word about him. He felt hyped for a day, then empty. Why? Because deep down, he knew that they weren't praising him. They were praising the tag. And once that same tag goes out of trend, so does the attention. That's what I mean when I say your true identity gets lost in brands. And once your identity starts hiding behind a label, it becomes difficult to forget what made you special in the first place. Your humor, your heart, and your originality. Now think of this. If two jackets keep you equally warm, does paying 5 times more really make you cooler? Or is it just the illusion of cool? We tilt towards brands because of many forces: social pressure, wanting to belong, emotional comfort, feeling secure in a logo, mental ease because habits make choices automatic, and even psychological validation because society attaches status to labels. Deep down, most of us don't buy for the product anymore. We buy for the acceptance. We chase that logo because we think it earns us belonging. But belonging that depends on what you wear is never real belonging. It disappears the moment the trend changes. In fact, I ran a small survey in my school. Out of 100 teens, 68 of them, including 33 girls and 35 boys, admitted that they bought at least one branded item, not because they needed it, but because they didn't want to be left out. Now, that's 2 out of 3 people spending for acceptance, not necessity. Imagine the savings if even half of these choices switched from wants to needs. To name a few: trips, hobbies, investments in skills, things that actually last. And more than savings, imagine the confidence we'd gain if we'd invest this same energy into improving ourselves rather than merely impressing others. That's real growth. That's real identity. So, here's my framework: identity should move from consumption to creation. Consumption, we buy because we want to be seen, but creation, we build because we want to be remembered. Mark Zuckerberg wears the same simple hoodie. Gukesh, India's chess prodigy, doesn't rely on labels to prove his brilliance. Sudha Murthy is admired worldwide for her humility, not her handbags. Their identity comes from something they create, not something they consume. Even Steve Jobs, with his black turtleneck, proved to the world that the loudest brand you can wear isn't on your chest, it's in your ideas. Because at the end of the day, consumption builds dependency, but creation builds identity. Your identity should be something you design every single day through your choices, your friendships, and your actions. Not something you buy every weekend. And let's be real for a second. Every year, iPhones get outdated, logos change, brands fade, jackets go out of season. But your humor, your courage, and your originality, that never goes out of style. Humor me for a second. iPhones get outdated every 12 months. Just imagine if that same thing happened to you. Imagine if you got outdated every single year. Sorry, bro. You're the 2024 edition. We need the 2025 you now. Sounds crazy, right? Well, that's exactly what happens when you let brands define you. You become as temporary as the product cycle. Instead, be timeless. The world doesn't need another trend follower, it needs originals. And originality starts when you stop asking, what should I buy? And start asking, who do I really want to become? So, the real question still lies: when people look at you, are they really seeing you or just your receipt? If your worth has a price tag, someone can buy it. But if your worth comes from within, no one can dare to touch it. Don't let brands define you. Don't let brands shrink that infinite you into just a label. Wear the shoes, carry the bag, and enjoy the phone. But remember, they are accessories, not identity. Your brand should be built on your values, not your valuables, on what you contribute, not what you collect. Because at the end of the day, the world doesn't see that logo stitched on your sleeve. The world sees a story of your life. The world sees the impact of your choices. And the world sees your personal brand that nobody else can tag, copy, or discount. This is Rishit Mantri. No tag, just me. Signing off. Thank you.